Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our penultimate, actually, 30 days, 30 Microsoft 365 tip series. And today we're going to look at a brand new feature that's come out in Microsoft PowerPoint, which is the record function. So this allows you to record a presentation. So you could be giving a presentation on your computer and you can record that presentation. So for example, you can send it as a file, a video file, to other people later on, or you could put it on your site, for example. So if you've got a presentation that you would like to record and make the most of that as a video file, as a presentation file, then you can do that now within Microsoft PowerPoint, directly. Teams on the brain. So everything's happening in Teams these days, but no, really, there's some great features as well that are coming into the other kind of Microsoft 365 products, the Microsoft 365 suite. So I'm going to share my screen in order to show how this record functionality works. So just bear with me one sec. Okay, so here's my screen shared. Oh, and I didn't say as well, welcome to those of you who are watching us live, and welcome to those of you who might be watching us on the recording. So getting back into the swing of the demo, here is Microsoft PowerPoint. We're in PowerPoint and we've got a presentation open with two slides here on the left-hand side. So you can see those there, two slides. Okay, now up here in the top right-hand side, so we've already seen the present in team. Hang on, I've just realized, and this happened, and just need to be aware that we've got our logo up there on the top right hand side. So this should now be a bit clearer, hopefully. Yep, there we go. Okay, so up here on the top right hand side, we've already seen the present in Teams functionality, and that functionality takes you directly into Teams and puts that presentation in presenter mode. Now, next to that, you'll see that a record button has appeared. So this is the record button here. So this means we can directly record this presentation, or also there is also a record tab up here in the middle. And there is some functionality on the record tab that does the same thing as that record button. But the record button is just a way of directly getting into what we're going to show you now. So I have this presentation. I would like to record this presentation, record myself giving the presentation. So I'm going to click on this record button here. So record again. So click on the record button. Okay, so as you can see on my screen right now, you'll see the slide. So that's the actual kind of presentation view of the slide. Now I'm going to just move this recording screen over so you can see that now. So here's the recording screen. So much like when you've got a presentation open in PowerPoint on two screens, it gives you one window where you can control the presentation, and it gives you the other window where you can kind of see the slides as they will appear for your guests. Well, this does a very similar thing. So you can see here, I've got this window here, which I'm moving around, which gives me the control of the PowerPoint presentation. And behind that, you can see the slides, which my audience would be viewing, etc., if I was to be sharing this presentation. You can also see that my camera, or my other camera, in fact, is also overlaid onto the presentation. So I can bring in my camera, and I can also do annotations. So I can do several things. So I can do several things in this record view, and I'm going to take you through some of those right now. Okay, so if I go back, this navigates me back to the PowerPoint editor, so it takes me out of the slideshow mode. Now, here I am in this presentation here, so I can export. So I can export the video. So once I've finished, we can export this video into a file, and it will also tell us where that is going to be saved and the video resolution also. So we can save that. So back to record functionality. So we can see here then that there are a few things that we can do. So we've got slide 1 and slide 2. Hold on, there we go. Okay, so we're now on slide 2. So bear with me, just go back to slide number 1 there. So we're now on slide 1 and we've got 2 slides, so we can move backwards and forwards between the slides. So that allows us to do that. Okay. So when I pressed record earlier, it's actually set the recording in motion. And you can see here that it took 8 seconds of material. So the record button currently is not available. However, there's a button here that says retake the video on the current slide or on all slides. So I could retake the video on here. So I'm going to click on retake video on current slide. So let's click on that one. And now you can see that the countdown's begun. It's going to start recording the presentation again. So I could be talking about these price rises within Microsoft 365 here until I decide that I want to stop this recording. So there we go. Okay, I'm looking really great now in the right hand corner there. Okay, let me just get back to that. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we'll just get back into the recording window there. Okay, there we go. The beauties of trying to work on 2 screens with 2 open presentations. Okay, so back onto the control panel here. So you can see this is already recorded. So this is showing me that recording now. So if I click to go there, the presentation again. So I could be talking about these price rises within Microsoft 365 here. There we go. Until I decide that I want to stop. So now we're on to the second slide. So I could then start my recording again and narrate on top of this second slide. So it gives me the option to record per slide, and then I can export that either as a kind of whole presentation, but we can also do retakes on certain kind of slides if we're not too happy with them. So I can also, a couple of other options here. So I can turn my camera on or off. So there we go. So the camera's off there. Turn the microphone off also, and if I just want to run through the presentation, for example, and there are a few options here in terms of which devices I want to use for the presentation. And then down here, some useful tools also. So we've got a laser pointer, for example. So if you want to make sure that people understand that you're talking about this second slide here, you can actually see that on the presentation at the same time. So you can see how that affects the presentation. And then we've got a pen, so we can actually write on the presentation as well. There we go, that's on there. We can also highlight. So I could say, right, this is a really important point. So as you can see, the presentation is showing that that would be highlighted as such. And then final thing to show you, just down here on the right hand side, there are a couple of options. So we've got, if we've got the camera on, we can blur the background or we can show the background. So always good, depending on the kind of location that you're in. And the views again, so this is the slide view that I've got in front of me here. I can also do a presenter view. So I can start seeing, for example, my notes, etc. here. And I can also see the next slide. So presenter view is useful for that. And I can also do a teleprompter view where we can get notes, for example, up here at the top. So there we go. Notes can be added while editing a presentation, displayed in the teleprompter and presenter views. So that's just a way of making sure you've got some notes in there. You know what you're going to talk about during your presentation, and it means that as you're presenting, you can read those, but the audience doesn't. Okay, so that's the new record functionality within Microsoft PowerPoint. Direct in there, really powerful, really simple to use as well, apart from when you've got two screens that you're trying to record things on at the same time and doing a live stream at the same time with a couple of cameras. So it is really simple to use, but kind of if you head on over to our website, we've got more guides like this. So the website address is just going along the bottom of the screen there. So head on over there for more guides and more useful tips and hints and videos like this one. And the other one is our Facebook group. So there we can kind of discuss hints and tips, kind of get hints and tips from other people, kind of will be there. So if you've got any questions or whatever, just put them in that group. We'd be more than happy to help you answer those and try and make your life with IT just that little bit easier. Okay, so thanks a lot for joining us this evening. I'm not certain yet if we're going to be back tomorrow, or maybe we'll be back on the weekend to do a bit of a longer session. I do have something in mind that we would like to kind of run over the weekend potentially as our last 30 days 30 tips. So we'll put all that information on the social media, and we'll let you guys know as soon as possible when that next session will be, and will be our last 30 days 30 tip session. All right, thanks very much for joining us tonight, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks very much. Okay, good night.